To utterly vanquish the Golden Circle, Yun Seong has meticulously devised a strategic plan to garner support from the legislators of the Prosperity Party. Throughout his tenure as a professor, Kim Ban-do cleverly cultivated golden connections by opening doors for the children of the powerful. Thanks to these relationships, he has adeptly risen to the ranks of a legislator. Yet suddenly, the opposing party's legislator, Jang Ho-il, has publicly exposed the corruption issues entwined with Kim Ban-do. This is the golden opportunity Yun Seong has long yearned for. In this dire situation, Kim Ban-do finds himself in desperate need of Yun Seong's assistance. Yun Seong gazes directly into his eyes and states, "Legislator Jang Ho-il holds no personal grudge against you. Even if he were to harm you, he would gain no political advantage. Therefore, I suspect someone is pulling his strings. He stands as a symbol of the Prosperity Party to which you belong. Yang Myong-gu. His power is expanding at a breakneck pace, and he is resolute in his intent to eliminate Du Nyang. However, being in the same party, Du Nyang has become a liability to him. Thus, he has redirected his assault towards Jang Ho-il. As a member of the rival party, he has every justification to create obstacles. Furthermore, Jang Ho-il himself possesses no weaknesses to be exploited. For this reason, everyone places their trust in him. The director, astonished, inquires, "If everything you say is true, what solution have you prepared?" "Soon enough, there will be leaks regarding international students using drugs. Among them, one student will remain anonymous. But by a strange twist of fate, the son of Jang Ho-il is also studying abroad. If you know how to seize this opportunity, you might just find a solution to your predicament. Moreover, I have numerous other plans that could aid you. If you are willing to place a modicum of trust in me, call me. I can only give you 1 week." A few days later, an unexpected event occurred, leaving everyone in shock. The director, astonished, questioned him. "You are merely a student. How could you know such things?" To avoid arousing suspicion, Yun Seong replied that it is all thanks to Go Bin. He is acquainted with various influential figures, making others admire and praise you for your courage and audacity. "So, can you tell me what preparations you have made? Before that, I have a question for you. Do you plan to run for the presidency in the future?" "But I believe your chances of winning are quite slim," Yun Seong stated calmly. "You lack a touching story to move the hearts of the people. Born into an elite family, you have followed the path of the upper class from the very beginning. You easily became a professor, then a legislator. Your life is the dream of the top 0.01% of the wealthiest in the country. Because you possess so much, your bid for office will ultimately fail." Hearing this, Kim Ban-do erupted in anger, shouting, "Are you telling me to give up everything I have?" Yun Seong smiled. "I know you cannot let go. Given your character, I am certain of it. So let me handle everything. I will be the one supporting you from behind. First, the Kangshung Group will provide you with the necessary funding. I will also create a flawless narrative for your presidential campaign, one that will earn you the admiration of the populace. You will become the vanquisher of the Golden Circle, celebrated as a heroic politician, when the Golden Circle is turned into the enemy of society. If you resolve this issue swiftly, you will rise quickly as a star in the political arena. I will manage the entire campaign. Even if problems arise, I will take full responsibility. You need only assist when I ask. I understand you might still doubt me, as I am merely a student, but in the days to come, I hope you will investigate me thoroughly. You will discover that I am not just an ordinary student. I am the one supporting the Kangshung Group. The very person Go Bong is desperately searching for." Upon returning to school, the classmates buzzed with speculation about Wu Haiji's sudden withdrawal. "A few days ago, I saw Go Hyu Kai being admitted to the hospital. He was gravely injured and unable to move on his own." Yun Seong never expected that he would dare to harm his own daughter. All that remains now is Kim Bao, who is crazed with power. Agree to the proposal. If Kim Bao refuses, I will activate the contingency plan. I will eliminate those who know the truth about me and seek new allies. I may have to face a stronger enemy. The worst-case scenario would be if Director Kin Nok and the elite collaborate. At that moment, someone suddenly called him back. A burly man threatened him, saying that before we strike, he had already walked into the trap himself. It turned out these men were henchmen of Director Kin Nok sent to retrieve him. He had learned the truth behind Yun Seong. "I don't understand. Clearly, you are not bullied by the elite. So why harbor such intense hatred?" Yun Seong asked. "Have you ever felt that way? Facing unwarranted hostility, yet unable to change the situation. Someone like you, with power and influence, may be able to resist, but the elite will never consider you a target. Their true targets are those without strength, those who cannot fight back. Moreover, those who are bullied cannot abandon their studies. For without education, life will descend into darkness. They cannot cry out to teachers or adults. As the elite have control over everything, the adults only watch silently, understanding that attending school is merely a battle that cannot be won. Even when the bell rings, the haunting never releases its grip. The feeling of helplessness, as if trapped in a hell of earthly torment. I am determined to put an end to this vicious cycle of violence. Though violence may endure forever, I shall make those who live by it among the elite pay a heavy price. Kim Bao inquired about my plans. After hearing my thoughts, I shall decide. The elite maintain their power because they have never tasted defeat. But I have convinced an intermediary to report inaccurately to the higher-ups, sending shockwaves throughout. After that, I will move to the Jiangnan region when I enter the 3rd grade and continue to hold the top position nationally. The Jiangnan region places great emphasis on achievements. If the powerful there recognize me as a target untouched by the elite, their reputation will be shattered. I hope you will support me on this journey to avoid expulsion. The longer I persist, the deeper the elite will sink into despair. Kim Bao suddenly asked, "Do you know why I wish to become president?" In truth, I simply want to experience it once. Around me are many who yearn to be president. So I too have kindled that idea. Throughout my life, I have never failed. I have entered a prestigious university, become a professor, and ultimately a significant figure. Why can't I be the president of this country? So, if you fall just once, I will immediately abandon you. I will not do anything for you. And every trace of my involvement will be erased. If you are confident enough to endure it all, I will accept your proposal. That day, after school, Choi San-ya unexpectedly sought out Kim Yun Seong in secret. It turned out that after witnessing the tragic end of Go Hyu-kai, he too wished to join Kim Yun Seong's revenge plan. Because his brother had also lost his life to those wretches, he harbored deep hatred for individuals like Go Hyu-kai. They are a bunch who are solely focused on their own emotions. Individuals with antisocial personalities. Kim Yun Seong rummaged through his backpack while asking, "What can you do for this?" Choi San-ya replied, "I can do everything. If so, can you use this arm to destroy the eyes of those people? When I break someone else's bones, I am mentally prepared for the possibility of my own bones breaking. When trampling on the lives of others, one must also accept that their own life may be trampled. But if you only possess such a little determination, what can you do for me? From now on, do not call on me for such matters. Willpower of little worth only hinders my progress." In the eyes of Kim Yun Seong, this path is certainly fraught with formidable challenges. Choi San-ya is not the right choice. Nor is your good friend, Kim T-nok. You can only work with Kim Hai, but cannot bring yourself to the city of S. Just one person caught in trouble is enough. Even if I am not here, I must ensure that Shi-yu can live well. This is precisely what Kim T-nok has said. The man from the support center reappears. It turns out that recently, all the tutoring centers in Kim Hai have been eagerly trying to invite Mr. Kim. This can be blamed on the principal, who is facing numerous pressing issues. To enhance the reputation of Tien Ri School, he invited the media, praising Mr. Kim, who achieved perfect scores in the mock exams. The man before me states that if you join our tutoring center, we can offer scholarships of up to 3 million won per month. As long as you acknowledge that you have received support from our tutoring center, you may not even need to attend additional classes. With such an enticing offer, Kim Yun Seong immediately refused. The next day, someone awaited Mr. Kim at the school gate. It was a group of ladies who referred to themselves as Lee Mi So, the operators of the Great Mother Forum in Dai Kai. This is a gathering place for parents of students in the Dai Kai area of City S, sharing educational information. These ladies wished to invite Kim Yun Seong to participate as a tutor for several students, including their own child. There are 4 lessons each month, with tuition reaching up to 2 million won. The teaching can take place in Kim Hai. Kim Yun Seong felt somewhat out of place within this forum, so he needed time to contemplate. Upon returning home, he immediately searched for information about this forum. Most of the information was just ordinary study knowledge, seemingly lacking significant value. But Lee Mi So had left him a precious clue. A paid membership account costing 10 million won would unlock the door to a secret bulletin board, reserved for those willing to pay. When Kim Yun Seong glimpsed these secrets, he was instantly captivated. In his previous life, when the Golden Gate scandal was exposed, the most vehement opposition came from parents who were extremely sensitive to their children's futures. They were not only outraged by the misconduct of the Golden Circle, but also felt it was unjust that their children were deprived of such privileged services. The envy and concern for their children's futures turned them into a formidable opposing force, exceeding any interest in moral or justice issues. The actions of these parents wielded great influence. Kim Yun Seong immediately agreed to Lee Mi-so's request. The following day, Lee Mi-so's son, along with a group of wealthy young men, arrived in Kim High. They appeared displeased with Kim Yun Seong, a mere inhabitant of a quaint little corner, relying on studies to flaunt. Jeong Min-woo proposed a daring plan, skipping school. Some were worried, if we did that, our parents would immediately confiscate our phones and pocket money. But Jeong Min-woo reassured them, don't worry, if we act together, they can only change our teachers. The name at the top of the nation is merely a fool. Even if we skip school, he can do nothing. When class was supposed to start, Kim Yun Seong suddenly realized the classroom was empty. At that moment, his friends were joyfully singing at KTV. Before long, Kim Yun Seong found them. Kang Myung-eo was just about to stand up and scold them. Kim Yun Seong said nothing, his voice cold as he replied, your teacher has arrived, why not greet them? The rich kids from the big city thought Kim Yun Seong, the top student in the nation, was merely a weakling. But when Kim Yun Seong discovered they were skipping class, everything changed. Instantly, a fierce brawl erupted. Kang Myung-eo yelled, do you know who my parents are? Just a call, and your life is over. Kim Yun Seong retorted, you'd better call right now. Tell them you were beaten by the teacher on your very first day of supplementary classes. Looking at Kang Myung-eo's face like that of a thug, it was hard to associate him with the title of top in the nation. He thought Kim Yun Seong was just lost in his books. Without delay, he called his mother to report. But when his mother found out he was beaten for skipping school, she erupted in fury, scolding him fiercely. Did you not listen to your teacher? Skipping school on the first day? How much longer do you plan to be a fool? Kim Yun Seong snatched his phone and put it on speaker. Lee Mi-so kept apologizing to Yun Seong. Please let it go this time. I promise it won't happen again. Kim Yun Seong reminded her. Do you remember I mentioned the right to punishment? I remember? From now on, as long as my daughter is in the wrong, no matter how you punish her, I won't intervene. The parents of the other children agreed. Kim Yun Seong addressed everyone. You decide. Do you want to have a serious lecture or shall I give you a lesson? After class. Kang Myung-eo was still filled with frustration. He asked Shim Umi if she knew anyone from Kim High. The person he sought was a bully. And Shim Umi knew someone. Previously, that person had claimed to be the boss of Kim High. Kang Myung-eo immediately urged her to contact that individual. This time, he was determined to teach Kim Yun Seong a lesson he would never forget. Under the sweet persuasion of Shim Umi, the self-proclaimed boss of Kim High quickly agreed. No one expected that this person would be Park Jin-woo. At present, he still did not know that the target Shim Umi aimed to teach a lesson was none other than Kim Yun Seong. To leave a lasting impression on the beautiful girl, he boasted of his exceptional fighting skills. Since Kim Yun Seong had to practice in the gym before class, Shim Umi led him there. Park Jin-woo pushed the door open and shouted loudly. Is there a student here? Bring him out. I wish to challenge him. Kim the Vu had just finished his training and, upon seeing him, asked in surprise, what are you doing here? Shim Umi was instantly captivated, asking, do you know this handsome guy? Park Jin-woo let out a sigh of relief. It was fantastic that the person he wanted to fight wasn't Kim the Vu. Suddenly, Shim Umi pointed at someone and shouted, the one who hit us is him. That person was none other than Kim Yun Seong. Park Jin-woo fell silent, turning to leave, leaving Shim Umi bewildered. Behind him, she kept asking, where are you going? Park Jin-woo broke out in a cold sweat, nearly getting into big trouble. Shim Umi chased after him, grabbing his arm. Park Jin-woo shook her off and asked, your teacher is Mr. Kim, right? It's he who attacked us. Didn't you say you were Kim Hai's big brother? Stay away from me immediately. From now on, don't ever contact me again. If you don't want to get involved in trouble, just obediently listen to Yun Seong. Shim Umi felt that nothing good had happened lately. Women don't have lives more important than that. Afterward, these pampered students knew only to obediently attend class. During the lesson, some even dozed off. Kim Yun Seong shouted, focus on the lesson. I know you are tired from being here 3 times a week. But you should also think of your parents. What if after listening to my lecture, your scores still do not improve? Numerous high-intensity classes await you. Accept the reality. If in this final exam, your grades do improve, We can reduce the number of classes to just once a week. I will also inform your parents that there's no need for you to attend other classes. If you follow my plan, you will definitely achieve good grades and get into university. Do you want to come to tutoring every day? Or would you prefer to study with me for one day, then have the rest of the time to do as you please? After half a month, the final exam scores of the students had indeed improved significantly. Lam Mai-tu was very grateful to Kim Yun Seong and wished for him to continue teaching them. Once a week, each month each person would contribute 1 won. If the scores show a breakthrough, there would be attractive rewards. Kim Yun Seong wasn't overly concerned about money, as long as you kept your promise to me. I would agree immediately. Lee Mi-so happily agreed. Just as he was about to leave, Kim Yun Seong suddenly inquired about Min-woo's father's job. In reality, Kim Yun Seong agreed to get to know Jeong Min-woo's father. They had used their wealth and power in search of high-quality education for their children, yet still having no connection to the Golden Circle. For the father of Jeong Min-woo is the deputy chief of police at the Central Prosecutor's Office. After the final exams, the winter break begins. Kim Yun Seong and Kim The-woo proceed to inquire with the director. Currently, what is their level? The fighter reveals that The-woo's boxing technique has reached a professional level. Yet his weaknesses in ground techniques remain unaddressed, limiting him to only compete against amateur athletes. However, Yun Seong possesses the strength to face professional opponents. Yet he, too, can only confront fighters of lower ranks, as his physique has not fully matured. Ultimately, opponents around the age of 30, at the peak of their careers, will present the greatest challenge. If he encounters them, he will undoubtedly be unable to secure victory. Whether in boxing or on the ground, his strength will be utterly overpowered. Kim Yun Seong looks on with a determined gaze and states, "During this winter break, I hope you will help me and the Vu enhance our muscle strength." Under Kim Yun Seong's guidance, Trin Do Triet initiates a rigorous and challenging training program for them. The training methods are indeed monotonous yet crucial. Each morning begins with relentless long runs. Next come the strength training exercises. Above all, the dietary regimen is of utmost importance. Each day, he must consume at least 5 meals like this, whether due to the intensity of the training or the effort to stuff food into himself. Kim Yun Seong's body ultimately rebelled. Cold sweat began to stream down his body. It felt as if his bones were about to shatter. Yet even in this moment, he could not afford to stop. Currently, even Choi Tae-jun at the same level could not defeat him. In the end, he gathered enough strength to overcome the Golden Circle. He could not allow himself to be weak and fall. Kim Yun Seong constantly reminded himself to remember the pain he had endured in his past life. Just to be able to send those wretched beings to hell with his own hands. He would sacrifice even this life without a second thought. But unfortunately, this scene was witnessed by Kim The-woo. He immediately sought out the director and demanded to halt the training. If this continues, Yun Seong will undoubtedly encounter significant problems. Trin Do Triet insisted, however, that there was no intention to stop. Though unaware of what Yun Seong had gone through, I clearly understood that he would never give up. If I intervened or halted the training, he would find another way to continue. Better to watch him endure this than to see myself become the weak one. I could only trust in Yun Seong's instincts. If I meddled in his affairs, it would only bring trouble upon myself. Thus, Yun Seong persevered through 5 weeks. He asked the director what level he could currently attain. Upon hearing Trin Do Triet mention the chance to compete against a professional athlete, Kim Yun Seong's gaze instantly filled with longing. What if you were my opponent? Trin Do Triet raised his hand in a gesture of challenge. Then come up here and let's see what you've got. After over a month of grueling training, Kim Yun Seong's reaction speed truly ascended to a new height. His endurance and spirit grew stronger. 2. Trin Do Triet wasted no time, launching a powerful kick, but Kim's skills were still insufficient to counter it. At this moment, Kim Yun Seong felt the utmost confidence. Wary of misjudging his own abilities, Trin Do Triet aimed to teach Kim Yun Seong a lesson, to unveil the true measure of his strength. However, after a mighty punch, Kim Yun Seong unexpectedly countered, leaving Trin Do Triet astounded. Aware that he was outmatched, Kim remained determined to seize any opportunity for victory. If one only seeks excuses, claiming the opponent is too strong or there are too many of them, it is akin to closing one's eyes and jumping from a rooftop. Without hesitation, Trin Do Triet unleashed a lightning-fast punch. As he saw the fist hurtling toward his face, Kim Yun Seong immediately leaned away to evade. The hook struck his chin, and Trin Do Triet smiled, saying, "Not bad at all." He swiftly retaliated with great force. Yun Seong, You are truly impressive, but there are many more levels you must conquer. After 2.5 minutes, Kim the Vu finally called for him to rise. To preserve Yun Seong's confidence, the Vu continuously reassured him, "You're not weak, it's just that the director is exceptionally strong. He's like a monster." Kim Yun Seong beamed with excitement. "This is my first time fighting against the director. Back then, I didn't even dare to raise my hands. But today is different, even though I still lost. The director was far more serious. I have a year left to train. And within this year, I will undoubtedly become stronger." That night, Kim Yun Seong went to the construction site to find Go Bin. Upon seeing Yun Seong's muscular form, Go Bin felt a chill of fear. Silencing any reckless words, he handed over a piece of paper and inquired why Yun Seong needed that land. The area was overgrown with weeds, devoid of value. Kim Yun Seong could not reveal that he was a man resurrected. They announced that this place would be reclaimed for the construction of a new road. The ends of the road would lead to major industrial zones. Thus, this area could transform into an ideal residential district. Suddenly, a businessman objected. This mere 1.000 square meters of land yields little profit. Yet, this very expanse has been developed continuously, ultimately selling for a staggering 2.000 times its original worth. This land is destined for reclamation to construct a road, and thus, its development will face numerous obstacles. However, beyond this land lies an untouched expanse of 20.000 square meters. And the property we acquired is at the heart of the traffic nexus. By then, the price per square meter could soar to 200 million dong. Just from the land alone, we could amass 300 billion dong, not to mention the potential profits from constructing an exquisitely designed luxury apartment complex. Its value will far exceed all imagination. This will be Go Bin's crowning achievement, an opportunity for him to prove himself, to establish his merit for the position of real estate director. Unbeknownst to him, the winter break has come to an end, and Kim Yun Seong returns to school once more. By merging Go Bong's wealth with Kim Ban-du's power, Kim Yun Seong's foundation at Zhonghe has become immensely solid. Yet, he still has not forged a power of his own. In the plans for the future, there will be aspects he cannot accomplish alone. It is precisely at that moment he will need a team of his own to execute those crucial tasks. Kim Yun Seong understands that to advance further in this power play, he requires not only strength from external connections but also the formation of a loyal and efficient team to support him during pivotal moments. For instance, Jung Chan-soo and Bei Sung Ho. Kim Yun Seong mused, "During my sophomore year, I must build my own team." Since defeating Seong Young Myung, Kim Yun Seong has gained recognition from most of his classmates for his strength. However, the freshman Jang Hyuk Jung remains unconvinced. He insists that no one can fight better than Seong Young Myung. Kim Yun Seong? That fool is undoubtedly bragging. Jang Hyuk Jung scoffed. Just as Jang Hyuk Jung was about to say more, a figure suddenly appeared and commanded him to extinguish his cigarette. Jang Hyuk Jung, enraged and ready to explode, was restrained by his classmates. They immediately recognized the person before them. On the name tag on his chest were 3 bold characters: Kim Yun Seong. The once arrogant Jang Hyuk Jung broke into a cold sweat. He awkwardly apologized. "I will put out this cigarette right away." Shortly thereafter, Kim Yun Seong summoned Park Jin-woo and a few others, announcing a shocking decision. From now on, the vision will expand to include other schools. Within 6 months, all schools in Kim High will unite like the rays of the sun. Park Jin-woo advised him to think carefully, as the schools in Kim High had reached an agreement to not interfere with one another. If he launched an attack first, he would become a common enemy to all the schools. A wave of fear washed over them. Kim Yun Seong harnessed his super abilities. If a school could be subdued, a reward of 5 million would be granted. Key players would receive an additional 1 million. With such generous incentives, the spirits of Park Jin-woo and his group were instantly ignited. They knew that Kim Yun Seong was not merely a spendthrift. A few days later, a first-year student began to bully his classmates. He aimed to emulate Kim Yun Seong, to assert dominance and conquer the entire freshman class. But unfortunately, Kim Yun Seong happened to pass by and witnessed this scene. He questioned the bully as to why he was hitting someone. Upon realizing this was Jang Hyuk Jung, the one who had spoken ill of him before, Kim Yun Seong promptly kicked him out of the way. Jang Hyuk Jung not only refused to admit his fault but charged back to retaliate, demanding to know why he was being attacked. Kim Yun Seong slapped him hard across the face. The blow struck like thunder, silencing him instantly. Just then, the homeroom teacher entered the classroom, witnessing Kim Yun Seong in the midst of a fight, and immediately sought an excuse to slip away. Kim Yun Seong sternly asked him, "Do you know why I'm hitting you? Who do you think you are to bully your classmates? I don't interfere in petty disputes among friends. But scoundrels like you, who use violence without principles, will certainly face consequences. Therefore, I will make an example of you to warn others." What followed was a brutal beating. Soon, news spread throughout the school. "I heard Kim Yun Seong is against bullying students. It turns out to be true." At this moment, someone added, "Kim Yun Seong is preparing to clean up all the schools in Kim High." It seemed anyone could join if they wanted. Moreover, those who actively participated from the very first day would have their accounts filled with millions in rewards. Not long after, Park Jin-woo asked Kim Yun Seong what his next plan was. If trouble arose beforehand, it would undoubtedly forge alliances with other schools. Kim Yun Seong remarked, "In this world, where there are villains, there will be victims. Those victims will furnish us with the right reasons." On that day, the bullies at Kim High School were once again plotting to torment Dae Hyeon. Remembering the moment he was ordered to strip by the bully right in front of the girls, Dae Hyeon knew he had to comply to avoid a beating. However, the bully had no intention of letting up, demanding that he pay 50 million as protection fees by tomorrow. Just as Dae Hyeon opened his mouth to say he didn't have that much money, he immediately received a thrashing. He threatened, "If you don't hand over the money, I'll have no choice but to beat your mother. We'll go to the restaurant your mother runs." Dae Hyeon couldn't contain his anger and shouted back, but immediately regretted it and quickly apologized. He claimed it was a slip of the tongue. The bully declared that even if it were unintentional, one must pay the price. Yet, in the very next moment, it was he who was struck. The assailant was none other than Kim Yun Seong, the one whom the school referred to as the Son. A stranger not affiliated with the school exclaimed, "Who are you?" Kim Yun Seong rushed in, swiftly dealing with the group. Afterwards, he proudly declared, "I am a friend of Dae Hyeon." These men, who endured bullying daily at school, were now left battered and bruised. They longed to plunge a knife into the bully. Yet their courage was still insufficient. However, an unexpected message altered his fate. The content was clear. "Just tell me who you are, which school you attend, how you've been bullied, and who the bully is, and I will surely take revenge for you." With a mindset of giving it a try, Dae Hyeon decided to send it. To his surprise, someone actually sought him out. "Do you see this world as truly cruel? Simply because you are too weak. We must bear the bullying from others. Some will dismiss the suffering we endure as a childish joke they have never experienced. Yet, the victims must live with the mental pain for a lifetime, while the perpetrators remain blissfully unaware of their sins. They will live their lives in comfort, oblivious to the wrongness of their actions. Even knowing this is wrong, the victims find no way to escape the clutches of evil. If they only endure, the bullying will never cease. And if they dare to resist, they will face an even more powerful storm of violence. No matter what path they choose, the victim's life has been thrust into hell. To escape this oppressive situation, I created a social network. So, would you like to make a deal with me?" Soon after, Kim Yun Seong helped Dae Hyeon teach the bully a lesson he would never forget. But the next day, that bully called in a senior for revenge. And Hong Liat said little and immediately charged in to strike. But this time, Dae Hyeon did not tremble in fear. He directly handed his phone to Hong Liat. It turned out Kim Yun Seong had advised that if anyone dared to hit, they should let them hear the phone call. And Hong Liat took the phone and spat out curses. "Are you the one who touched my brother?" This statement was entirely incorrect. "It was your brother who laid hands on my friend. We were merely retaliating, and Hong has bullied Dai Tin for 4 years, even forcing him to strip in front of the girls. I'm giving you just one chance. If you truly care for your younger brother, let him come forward and apologize on his own. Otherwise, don't blame me if I lose my politeness." Yet, and Hong Ryul still favors his brother. "If you have the guts, tell me which school you're attending, and I will come to settle this myself. I am Kim Yun Seong from the Tien Ri Academy. You can choose the time and your brother, it's up to you." Not long after, Kim Yun Seong marched in with Kim Soo-nak and Park Jin-woo to the meeting place with a fierce presence. Though In Hong Ryul had more people on his side, he no longer bore the arrogance he once had. "If we fight, it will lead to a war between the Tien Ri Academy and the First Academy. Therefore, let's resolve this peacefully. There's no need for such a commotion. Let those involved apologize to each other and pretend nothing has happened. Shall we?" Kim Yun Seong is speculating. "He must have investigated my circumstances, which is why he knows the only one I need to apologize to is your younger brother." I understand you want to save face. But do not try to outsmart me. The atmosphere in the courtyard was chillingly tense, as if a battle was on the verge of erupting. I never imagined that Hong Ryol would choose the path of concession. Hong Tran, come out and apologize quickly. Do not let things escalate further. Hurry, apologize to him. Even your own brother had to yield. Hong Tran had no choice but to step forward and offer her apology. In that moment, Dae Hyeon reminded that Yun Seong had once given him two choices. One was to promise him that he would not lay a hand on him again and end the matter there. He said that, considering his life, this path seemed safer. The second was to seek revenge on you. Whatever you did to him, he would repay in kind. You need to be far more ruthless than I am. Though it may satisfy your anger, the feud between us will never be extinguished. Which path do you think I will choose? Kim Yun Seong said calmly. I will continue down this road. You are nothing but a scoundrel. Hong Ryuk could hardly believe that despite his younger brother's apology, the opposing group did not cease their assault. He immediately ordered his subordinates to defeat them all. Park Young-woo led the charge, each of his punches sending a thug crashing to the ground. He even counted, 1 pig, 2 pigs, because Kim Yun Seong had promised a reward of 5 million won to whoever made the decisive move. Suddenly, a subordinate attempted a sneak attack from behind. But, fortunately, Kim Soo-nak appeared just in time, kicking that thug away. He wanted to assert his strength through this battle, proving that he too could contribute to Yun Seong's plans in the future. I will not drift away from him. We shall fight together until the end. The thugs at first school were utterly swept away. Although it was clear they were outnumbered 2-1, they still could not secure victory. Hong Ryol saw that his subordinates had all fallen, and with no other option left, he chose to join the fray himself. He locked onto his target, Kim Yun-sung. If he could defeat this one, he could bring the battle to a close. However, with a single punch, Kim Yun-sung sent him flying. Then, he grabbed his phone and played back the recording of their conversation into his ear. Just based on the victim's testimony, the disciplinary committee would have to be summoned. Adding to that this recording, you cannot escape your crimes. If today you claim the incident occurred at first school, I will temporarily overlook it. But if anyone reveals what happened today, not only will I report it to the disciplinary committee, but I will also ensure you face even harsher penalties. Seeing Hong Ryuk remain silent, Kim Yun Seong began to mimic Ma Dong-sok's actions, gripping his front tooth tightly. The brutal scene caused everyone around to shudder. With a sharp crack, Hong Ryuk's tooth was mercilessly shattered by Kim Yun Seong. You're taking too long to respond, Kim said coldly. From the moment Kim Yun Seong shattered Hong Ryuk's front tooth with his bare hands, the bullies at Jonghae High School 1 were haunted by fear. That day, when Da Yun accidentally bumped into them, the bullies instantly recognized him. The sight of Da Yun reminded them of Kim Yun Seong, whom they regarded as a demon. One of the gang hurriedly exclaimed, "I'm sorry," and fled immediately. This moment made Da Yun realize the change that Kim Yun Seong had brought about in him. Now, he understood that it was time for him to uphold his promise. Shortly thereafter, Dae Hyeon appeared on the forum, confirming that the post about defeating the school bullies was entirely true and remarkably effective. The trash from other schools panicked, fearing that in the next moment, they would become the victims. The leader of the gang threatened that if anyone dared to show up, he would crush them immediately. Suddenly, a voice called out his name from behind. Mo Dong-hao jumped in surprise. "Who are you? Do you know me?" "I know you very well. The reporter provided me with all the details about you. You frequently bully and isolate your classmates, even threatening and coercing them into apologizing. You sure love to brag." Mo Dong-hao ordered his underlings to charge forward. "But what can you do to me?" What awaited them next was a brutal beating from Kim Yun-sung. On another front, Park Jin-woo had also taken action, defeating 3 scoundrels from a different school. Da Yun's post on the forum garnered immense attention, as more and more students who had been bullied sent emails to report. This provided Kim Yun Seong with justifiable grounds to punish the other schools. During this process, Kim Sa-woo finally understood why Yun Seong chose to undertake such perilous actions. Those who deliberately bully their peers, like the dregs of society, do not deserve a normal life. When Yoon Hae Nyu, the leader of the Information and Communication Academy, received this news, he felt a deep sense of unease. Yoon surmised that Kim Yun Seong was leveraging the act of rescuing victims to build his own reputation and influence, to dominate Kim Hae. Thus, he summoned Hong Ryol from the very first school. He mocked Hong Ryol. "You must be in excruciating pain, right? When I beat you before, I never touched your teeth. Do you think that lawless scoundrel would dare lay a hand on me? And Hong Ryul trembled in response. He displayed not a shred of fear. Hai Min declared, "It seems I must take the initiative. Therefore, I need your help with a task. Go tell the teacher that he broke your teeth and demand that he take legal responsibility." Upon hearing this, and Hong Ryul panicked even more. "I can't do that. You have no idea how terrifying that guy is. You still seem dazed." He gripped his mouth tightly. "You fear that guy but not me? If you're too scared to speak, I'll drag the truth into the light." Before long, the head of the first school received a letter of accusation. They condemned Dae Hyun, accusing him of inciting students from Cheon-il School to engage in violence. "No matter how much An Hong Ryul bullied you, you should not have called for Kim Yun Seong to attack our students." Dae Hyun retorted that this incident had nothing to do with Yun Seong. The teacher questioned, "Wasn't that article written by you? If I truly am the accuser, what's the problem? I've endured 4 years of ruthless bullying, now someone's finally helping me seek revenge." The teacher shouted in anger. "So, should I commend you for that?" Dae Hyun, maintaining his composure, interjected, "Please, don't make a fuss. I'm not claiming that article is my work. It's just, to sum up, Yun Seong is completely uninvolved in this. That's the truth." Hai Min found the accusation utterly ineffective. Immediately, he summoned thugs from other schools. He proclaimed to everyone that Kim Yun Seong was establishing a solid power base in each school. Anyone daring to instigate violence would face brutal retribution. He was determined to exploit the guise of a violence victim, to dominate all of Kim Hai. "We cannot allow that thug to rob us of the joy we are savoring." Lu Chin-heen asked, "So, do you have a plan?" Hai Min clenched his fists. "I have devised an extremely intriguing plan. One that will utterly crush Kim Yun Seong." Shortly thereafter, as was his custom, Lu Chin-heen was bullying a classmate when Kim Yun Seong suddenly appeared. "You're the one who accused Im Ho-jun, aren't you? The trash standing before you is Lu Chin-heen." Im Ho-jun, seeing Kim Yun Seong, panicked and apologized. It turned out he acted out of coercion to seek help. If he didn't follow the plan, his family would face trouble. Then, from the shadows, a group emerged. "It's surprising that you actually fell into the trap. Seeing you brings me joy. You are my little puppy. I am Hai Min of the Information Academy. Do you think you can dominate Kim Hai? And we will stand by your side? It's all just a trap I've laid for you. Are you so happy that you want to cry?" But Kim Yun Seong showed no fear. He had even summoned over 100 people. "These pieces of trash truly know no fear. Let me reveal something intriguing to you," Mo Yong-ho said with a cunning smile. "Do you know who runs that forum? It's a student I've been tutoring recently. As the administrator, he knows exactly who posts and comments. My relationship with him is quite good. So naturally, I know the identities of those lurking behind their anonymity." His words carried a dangerous warning, revealing that he could use this information to threaten or retaliate against those participating in the forum against violence. "When you anonymous fools replied under Im Ho-jun's post to help him, I instantly recognized you as the trash you are. That's why Kim Yun Seong didn't come here alone. The Tien-Ri Academy boasts powerful warriors. Everyone has gathered in full force. Moreover, Im Ho-jun even recognized several prominent figures from other schools, including An Hong Ryul, Lee Ko-triet, and Yang Jun, leaving him utterly perplexed. Why are they here? Kim Yun Seong clenched his fists, the sound echoing ominously. "The one caught in the trap is not me, but you. The Tien-Ri Academy is on the brink of a war with the Information Academy. And those who have fallen before Yun Seong will join the ranks of Tien-Ri." It turns out Kim Yun Seong had once questioned An Hong Ryul about the fate of Tham and Min and that worthless bunch. They all ended up locked away by him. "You look no different from them. How should I deal with you?" An Hong Ryul trembled, kneeling and begging, "Just let me graduate peacefully. I will accept any terms." Thus, Yun Seong commanded him to gather the group from the first school. To obey his orders, Hai Min mocked, "Aren't these the ones defeated by Kim Yun Seong? A bunch of worthless trash with no self-respect. Moreover, only more than 20 showed up. Is this all the power you possess? An Hong Ryul, why can't you see the situation? If Kim Hai falls into Kim Yun Seong's hands, do you not comprehend the dire consequences that will ensue?" An Hong Ryul seethed, "You are truly foolish. What does this have to do with me? Who are you to speak like that? Always mentioning Kim Hai? You are not the boss of Kim Hai. What right do you have to command us? When it comes to who can dominate Kim Hai, it surely must be the strongest. I don't believe you can defeat Kim Yun Seong. If you can take down Kim Tien-sin in a one-on-one match, I will let you handle An Hong Ryul as you wish." This provocation is undoubtedly part of Kim Tien-sin's scheme. If he accepts, He will have to face the consequences in front of everyone. But Jung Hae-min is a coward. If he could deal with them and Min, it proves he is stronger than we think. While Jung Hae-min hesitated, Kim Yun Seong charged forward, bravely confronting his lackeys. The numbers were clearly in his favor. This one not only knows how to cook but is also quite peculiar. Why do they stand there as if frozen in time? Does he intend to face us? 100 strong, all by himself? Jung Hae-min couldn't contain himself and shouted, "Attack him! This one shows utter disregard for us." Before coming here, Yun Seong had warned Kim Si-win that he certainly could not defeat 100 men. Yet, I must assert that if we do not follow my lead, severe consequences will ensue. Furthermore, in the Jiangnan region we are about to enter, there will undoubtedly be far stronger foes. Thus, I must secure victory in this unfavorable scenario. Before I ask for assistance, we must absolutely remain in the shadows. If I surrender quickly, my plans for revenge will dissipate like mist. Seeing Kim Yun Seong drenched in blood, Fak Chan-win anxiously asked, "Do we really not need everyone to join in?" Kim Si-win replied. "If he has told us to wait, then trust him." At this moment, under Jung Hae-min's command, they all charged into the fray. Faced with the storm of attacks, Kim Yun Seong stood firm like an unyielding wall. Then, like a tiger escaping its cage, he swiftly knocked down 2 foes. The advantage of numbers could not subdue Kim Yun Seong, rather, it made him more ferocious. Jung Hae-min felt a surge of fear at his reckless assault. He was like a tempest, one I was certain I could not defeat. If this continued, I would become the second to fall like An Min. No one expected Jung Hae-min to choose to flee amidst the battle. He called us forth yet turned his back to escape. Was he even human? Kim Yun Seong reminded us that the fight was far from over. Once begun, one must persevere until the end. Beside him, Lu Chin-heen could no longer stand idly. "Everyone, stand back. Let me show him the true power." Kim Yun Seong effortlessly dodged his punch, immediately seizing the opportunity to wrap his arms around his waist and throw him to the ground. Not stopping there, a flurry of wild punches ensued, leaving those around in shock. Is this one truly mad? Pull him away quickly. Yet, Kim Yun Seong's attacks grew increasingly ferocious, as if he were not striking a man but a punching bag. Some even couldn't hold back and vomited on the spot. Lu Chin-heen was beaten to a pulp, ultimately begging for mercy, claiming they had conceded. Kim Thach-nok could hardly believe he had truly succeeded. From this moment on, all universities in Kim High will be under the control of Tien Ri School. I will call when I want, and I will go when I please. Who is in agreement, and who stands against? 2 weeks later, Jung Hae-min dared to return to school. When his classmates saw him, they began to gossip about his fight and his retreat. Jung Hae-min shouted in anger, "You wretched fools, shut your mouths. If you dare speak nonsense again, I will not hold back." Suddenly, a man appeared at the door, causing him to tremble at just the sight. The slacker, Mr. Kim, after receiving the report, did not hesitate to track down Jung Hae-min upon learning he had returned to school. After hiding for 2 weeks, Jung Hae-min never expected Mr. Kim to pursue him, and the one who leaked information about him was none other than the target of Golden Circle. To thwart Kim Yun Seong, Jung Hae-min decided to act first, but with a single punch, Kim Yun Seong rendered him unconscious. When Jung Hae-min awoke, he found the principal had been waiting there for quite some time. He hastily accused, "It was all Kim Yun Seong's doing. He came to our school to stir up trouble. He cannot escape punishment." But the principal coldly replied, "I heard that you were the one who struck first. Kim Yun Seong merely came to have a conversation with you. Everyone believes his actions were justified." The classmates around him did not hesitate to criticize him, claiming he was the real troublemaker, and he was infamous for being a bully in this school. Such words only fueled the dissatisfaction boiling within him. Jung Hae-min, unwilling to accept it, pointed to the bruise on his face and declared he would file a lawsuit over this matter. Unbelievably, the principal coldly threatened, "Do you know about the Golden Circle? If you wish to avoid falling into a dark abyss, keep silent." It turned out that while he lay unconscious, Kim Yun Seong and the principal had made secret agreements. In the end, Jung Hae-min was forced to abandon his dreams of education by the school. At the same time, his father was also expelled from the construction site. Jung Hae-min could not have anticipated that everything stemmed from Kim Yun Seong. Suddenly, the target assigned to him for tormenting, Van Bin Thien, called him. The other party sneered, "Don't feel too unjust, okay?" Because Chu Dong Tuan's home had also fallen apart. Chu Dong Tuan was the one who had entrusted Golden Circle. Yun Seong coldly stated, Help me crush both the client and your life. Didn't you once say you wanted to become a fitness coach? Yet that dream will forever remain out of reach. For from today onward, your arm will never function normally again. That day, at Kim High Science School, Han Byung-jun was engrossed in discussions about events happening in other schools. In his enthusiasm, he bumped into another classmate. The other party immediately apologized. But Han Byung-jun was not so easily appeased. You hurt my shoulder, is an apology really enough? At this moment, Han Byung-jun was still unaware that Kim Hyeon-jung was the sister of Kim Yun Seong. And he said, you bumped into me because you weren't looking where you were going. I believe you shouldn't just get angry like that. These words ignited Han Byung-jun's fury. He immediately raised his fist. Last year, Hyeon-jung passed the high school entrance exam and declared her intention to attend the Sky Sun School, where Yun Seong studied, so they could learn together. Currently, Yun Seong has the ability to protect his younger brother. Yet he wishes for things to unfold differently. Therefore, he allowed his brother to choose the Kim High Science School, which offers better educational resources. Hyeon-jung obediently agreed. As long as it was a suggestion from him, it would surely be correct. After they arrived at the office, Hyeon-jung explained the reasons for the incident to the homeroom teacher. Han Byung-jun, on the other hand, protested, claiming that it was all instigated by Kim Hyeon-jung. Who is right and who is wrong? The homeroom teacher soon made it clear. However, he demanded that both sides call their parents to the school. Han Byung-jun was quite pleased with this outcome, for his father was wealthy and powerful. In contrast, the Kim Hyeon-jung family had only an elderly woman of frail strength. Thus, Han Byung-jun advised him to take the blame. Your grandmother coming to school will surely be very difficult. Do you think the homeroom teacher will call parents over such a trivial matter? Because my father is the owner of a construction company. The homeroom teacher is just an ordinary person, while my brother is the king of Kim High School. Your school life has completely collapsed. Who dares to underestimate me? An orphan without parents? The next day, Han Byung-jun's parents appeared at the school. As soon as he set foot inside, he immediately pressured the homeroom teacher. I heard that a boy named Kim Hyeon-jung frequently looks down on my son. And yesterday he even dared to lay hands on him. Although my son should not have acted out, his actions can definitely be deemed justifiable for self-defense. Other teachers quickly jumped in to support. If Hyeon-jung is the instigator, then let's end this matter by punishing him. These teachers had undoubtedly been bribed to defend him. Yet the homeroom teacher, despite their collusion, remained resolute. The guardian of student Kim Hyeon-jung is waiting in the counseling room. Let's go in there to talk first. On the way to the counseling room, his father and brother continuously reassured Han Byung-jun, telling him not to worry. The homeroom teacher can't do anything. This statement filled Han Byung-jun with confidence. My father and brother are no ordinary people. Kim Hyeon-jung will pay the price. Upon entering the counseling room, his father and brother were immediately taken aback. The homeroom teacher explained that it was supposed to be Mrs. Kim Hyeon-jung who came, but since she was unwell, she had sent her brother to represent her. At this moment, Han Byung-jun remained blissfully unaware of the severity of the situation. Before the homeroom teacher could fully explain the cause of the conflict, Han Byung-jun's father bowed his head in apology. It is all my fault. I have failed to raise my son properly. Han Byung-jun, apologize at once. Just as Han Byung-jun was about to retort, his brother smacked him on the back of the neck. The teacher said you struck first. Bow your head and apologize. Han Byung-jun's father worked at a construction company, and his brother was well known in school, so they immediately recognized Kim Yun Seong upon seeing him. Ultimately, the homeroom teacher carried out the punishment for Han Byung-jun. Afterwards, the teacher requested that Kim Yun Seong stay behind for a private discussion. I have heard that many influential people in Kim High are strongly supporting you. However, I am not entirely pleased with you. Nevertheless, because good children like you need a stable learning environment, I have agreed to let you act as a guarantor. The reason Kim Yun Seong enrolled his younger brother in the School of Science was due to this homeroom teacher. In his past life, he had been dismissed for protecting the goals of the Golden Circle. Kim Yun Seong always believed that the expelled teacher, who steadfastly refused to give up until the very end, was a true educator who placed students above all else. Yun Seong felt the teacher would never yield to wealth or power. But surprisingly, this time, the teacher used his power to protect Yun Seong's younger brother. Kim Yun Seong thought to himself, if Yun Jin ever makes a similar mistake in the future, I hope the teacher will punish him as severely as he did today. For a teacher like that, no matter how many times he had to bow his head, Yun Seong felt it was truly worthwhile. Meanwhile, Han Byung-soo, teetering on the brink of death, still had no idea he had provoked someone he should not have. His brother exclaimed, "Do you know? The person you have crossed is Kim Yun-jin, the younger brother of Kim Yun Seong, who is shaking the foundations of Jeonhae with the support of the Kangshung group." At that moment, Kim Yun Seong stepped forward, facing this tense situation, and the atmosphere began to grow suffocating. Just then, Kim Yun Sung appeared. He demanded that everyone leave for a private conversation. However, aside from Han Byung-jun, the other two stood frozen like statues. Kim Yun Sung shouted in anger, "You are his father and brother, why do you not follow me?" A few people followed him to a secluded spot. Before Yun Seong could speak, Han Byung-jun fell to his knees, pleading for forgiveness. Seeing this, his father and brother quickly added, "It is our fault for being negligent in his upbringing." Kim Yun Sung coldly replied, "With just one phone call, your company will be on the brink of bankruptcy. Those who cannot restrain their younger brothers shall dwell in suffering for eternity. Rather than let you become my target and endure countless torments, I would prefer to end everything swiftly." These words sent a chilling wave of fear through their father and brother. The reason Kim Yun Sung threatened them was the haunting image of his brother being beaten, which awakened a long-buried psychological scar within him. Now, he struggled to contain the fury brewing inside. "You dare to lay a hand on my brother? Even if I were to crush you now, it would not quell the hatred in my heart. But for my brother's sake, I shall swallow this anger down. If you wish to extinguish my rage, then go to where my brother lies. Kneel like a dog, and beg for mercy." Moments later, Han Byung-jun entered the classroom, kneeling to apologize to Kim Hyeon-jung before all his classmates. Everyone was left in disbelief. "If you want to extinguish my fury, then go to where my brother is. Kneel like a dog, and beg for forgiveness." Shortly after, Han Byung-jun arrived in class, kneeling to apologize to Kim Hyeon-jung in front of the entire class. All the classmates could hardly fathom the scene. The one who was often arrogant had now become so cowardly. Kim Hyeon-jung found it easy to forgive him. Unlike his brother, Kim Yun Sung, he possessed an untouched purity. Kim Yun Sung wished to exert all his strength to protect this image of him. This was the true reason he enrolled Hyeon-jung in this school. Since that day, Hyeon-jung's life underwent monumental changes. Classmates were well aware that his brother was Kim Yun Sung, with even upperclassmen seeking him out to curry favor. They longed to cling to the legs of Kim Yun Sung. Although Hyeon-jung knew his brother was exceptional, he never anticipated it to this extent. Students were left guessing how he would wield his current power. Yet he took no action, instead choosing to live his life quietly. Not long after, Sao Trong-fat received excellent news. The land that Yun Seong had instructed him to purchase was indeed located at the center of the construction plan. A few months prior, Sao Trong-fat had suddenly proposed buying 20,000 square meters of undeveloped land. He faced fierce opposition from Go Bong. The latter believed the most important priority was to focus on developing projects, not wasting money on unpredictable ventures. Go Bin mocked him, claiming his vision was too narrow, as land would not simply run away. As long as the land is acquired, waiting for the right moment is sufficient. If one wishes to become a manager like me, one must see beyond the present. Fortunately, the director's father agreed to his request, but whether it led to success or failure, all consequences would fall squarely on his shoulders. Go Bin confidently vowed, "I will not disappoint your expectations." Right now, thanks to this 20,000 square meter land, Go Bin has at least garnered a profit of 30 billion. The director's father never expected that the child who always worried him would discover a new development project for the company. Immediately, he declared that Go Bin would inherit the company. Go Bong was the first to oppose. His success this time was merely a stroke of luck. The director countered that this was not just a simple success. A few months ago, when Trong Pham proposed this project, what did he do? He did not consider the benefits the company would gain. Instead, he only worried about the achievements Trong Pham would attain, thus opposing the project's advancement. Therefore, the one who truly cares for the company's interests is most suited to assume the position of chairman. Others present quickly agreed with the director's opinion. Furthermore, the director stated that the Kangshung group only needed one heir. Consequently, Go Bong would be cast out to live his own life. Go Bong could not have imagined that his father would be so ruthless. He did not want to abandon the company and the position of heir. So he decided to call a reporter. This was his only opportunity to turn the tide. Meanwhile, Go Bin and Kim Yun Sung had reached an agreement for the first time. At the coffee shop where they were collaborating, Trong Pham calmly said, "At that time, I thought you were a madman. But do you know why I'd trust this madman? Because you do not hide your true nature, rather, you openly reveal your ambitions. I believe that someone like you will not shy away from any means to elevate me to the position of chairman." Now, Yun Seong has fulfilled his promise, and Go Bin is committed to helping him achieve their agreed-upon goals. While both were laughing joyfully, Go Bin suddenly received a call. His cheerful expression abruptly changed to one of worry. It turned out that an article had just emerged online about the heir of a construction company, which was, in fact, a love child. All of this had been orchestrated by Go Bong's younger brother, and everything was becoming chaotic. He discovered that his father had an unusual amount of liquid assets. Go Bong had managed to pry information from his mother and learned that his father had once had an affair. The woman from that affair had given birth to a child many years ago. Hearing that his brother was reporting about the love child in the media, Go Bin was filled with rage. Wanting to return to confront him, Yun Seong calmly replied, "Even if you hit him, it won't change anything. This action will only cause you to lose everything." Go Bin shouted, "That is a thorn that my mother has hidden in her heart. How can I just stand by?" But Yun Seong's next words were like an electric shock. "To be honest, the love child is not you, it is Go Bong. In reality, this matter has nothing to do with you." Upon hearing this, Go Bin furiously charged forward, determined to teach him a lesson. Beyond exposing the illegitimate child, Yun Seong was particularly concerned about Go Won-jung's position as chairman and the family's strange actions. It was evident to all that the true heir of the family was Go Bong. Yet the chairman wholeheartedly supported Go Bin, and his mother readily accepted the illegitimate child. Go Bin was certainly accepted by his mother, but he had never sought the outstanding achievements of Go Bong. After delving into these suspicions, Yun Seong concluded that perhaps the illegitimate child was not Go Bin, but indeed Go Bong. Yun Seong asked him, "Why not leverage being the illegitimate child to compete? Just that alone would be enough to harm him." Go Bin replied, "When we were young, our great chairman was not a good father. He even hit my mother. That day, to comfort her, I asked, 'Do you need me to help teach father a lesson?' My mother, perhaps moved by my words, told me that Trong Pham was not my biological brother, but he was also my father's child. Thus, I had to raise him." Go Bin suggested, "Then why not divorce him? Take more compensation from father, and we can live together." But at that time, my mother said, "We will always be a family." So, to not upset her, he did not exploit this secret to compete with his younger brother. Yun Seong proposed, "I have a plan that might not hurt anyone. Do you want to try?" The next day, Go Bin called a press conference. He announced to everyone, "My father indeed had an illegitimate child, but that does not mean I am one. This DNA certificate can prove that I am the son of Chairman Go Myong-jong." This result was verified by an official agency. A reporter asked, "Does that mean the illegitimate child is someone else?" Indeed, there was. Unfortunately, that child passed away due to a tragic incident. My father always carried the weight of regret, and thus he provided that woman with a sum of compensation. If anyone dares to scheme or deliberately create difficulties for my family, as the heir of the Kangshung group, I will not let them go unpunished." Go Bong, despite knowing the truth, still could not accept reality. Afterwards, my father thanked Go Bin for prioritizing the family's interests. The documents for his succession to the chairmanship had been prepared. I hope that when he becomes chairman, he will live a life without regrets. Then, he told Go Bin to leave, as he wanted to have a private conversation with Go Bong. "I know you have worked hard to attain the position of chairman. I do not mean to blame you. I once believed you were the most deserving for this position, and I would not let your status as an illegitimate child cause you to suffer. Yet, I never anticipated you would lead yourself to destruction. Your birth mother, equally ruthless, has never cared for you a single day, yet, solely for the reason of having brought you into this world, she relentlessly seeks to claim what is not hers. I shall not offer you a few buildings as compensation. Instead, depart in peace." Go Bong pleaded, "Please give me another chance." The chairman roared. A few days later, Go Bong decided to travel abroad to start anew. Before his departure, he entrusted Go Bin with all the necessary documents to run the company, saying, "I have instructed my subordinates, they will surely remain loyal to the future of the chairman. You must learn to effectively harness these talents." Just before turning away, Go Bong called out, "Brother." That call stirred something deep within Go Bin, for it was the first time his half-brother had addressed him in such a manner. Joy surged within him. Curiously, Go Bong asked, "May I know who helped you?" Upon hearing Go Bong speculate, "Is it Yun Seong?" The one you invested so much money in for collaboration? But he is just a student. Go Bin smiled confidently, for he understood that, despite being merely a student, Kim Yun Seong possessed extraordinary potential and intellect, capable of achieving greatness. Days later, Go Bong resolved to venture overseas to restart his life. Prior to leaving, he handed Go Bin the essential documents to manage the company, informing him that he had instructed his subordinates to follow the successor's guidance. You must know how to utilize these talents, otherwise. He turned back and called, "Brother, can I ask, who is your assistant?" Hearing him call him brother filled Go Bin with immense excitement. Go Bong speculated, could it be Kim Yun Seong, the one you have spent so much on? But he is just a student. Upon seeing the awkward expression on his brother's face, Go Bong immediately realized that the assistant behind him was indeed the culprit. All the troubles I have endured stemmed from that student's scheming. Go Bin threatened, his voice glistening with fury, if you dare to touch Yun Seong, even if you are my brother, I will never forgive you. Cao Si smiled faintly. Rest assured, I admit that you are far more capable than I. Had it been me, I would not easily trust the words of a student. Not long after, Cao Si received a call from Kim Hyun Seong, and he thought the other party simply wanted to check in. Unexpectedly, Heen Tan also arrived to warn him. I am not like Hua Bin, it will be Go Bin who handles this matter. Should you dare to do anything outrageous, Cao Tuong will laugh and say, the two have colluded together. My brother has warned me that if I dare to touch you, he will surely not let me off. You come to warn me because of my brother. Although I am envious of the relationship the two of you share, my brother's actions weigh heavily on my heart. I have acknowledged my brother's abilities, so from now on, everything will rely on you. Kim Hyun Seong breathed a sigh of relief, finally completing all the plans. Only a few months remain until the day of executing the plan to eliminate the Golden Circle. Before diving into action, I must clean up the remaining trash. At this moment, Jung Hae Min continuously calls him. After 2.5 years, Kim Hyun Seong receives a call from Jung Myung Ho. Who is Jung Myung Ho? Surely most people have forgotten. He is a member of the group that tormented Kim Hyun Seong in his past life. Using the power of his parents, he stood behind Hugh Ba in support. After Kim Hyun Seong was reborn, he gave him a near-death experience. After that, Jung Myung Ho called his mother to exert pressure to expel Kim Hyun Seong from school. But Kim Hyun Seong had collaborated with Go Bin from the Kangshung group. Thanks to Go Bin's help, Jung Myung Ho was forced to drop out. Subsequently, his parents spent a significant amount of money to erase his dark past. Fleeing from Kim Hae, Jung Myung Ho dreamed of starting anew in a new city and a new school. He often generously treated his classmates to instant noodles, and when others faced difficulties, he was always ready to lend a hand. Because of this, everyone called him the living bodhisattva. Jung Myung Ho hoped that this time he could live as an ordinary student. But unexpectedly, the noble Park Myung Ji-yu sought him out. Determined not to become a pawn for the opponent, Jung Myung Ho decided to counterattack. However, the power disparity between the two sides was too great. Park Myung Ji-yu could resolve everything with just one punch. From that moment on, Jung Myung Ho became a toy for the school bullies. Former classmates who once had good relations with him began to actively distance themselves. For Jung Myung Ho, who had been completely isolated, reality grew increasingly brutal. That day, he prepared to resist the noble with all his remaining strength. Park Myung Ji-yu pointed at a distant student and said, as soon as his parents say a word, even the principal will rush over. So if you dare to resist, my friends will plunge your life into utter destruction. Jung Myung Ho, unconvinced, asked back, why treat me this way? Park Myung Ji-yu replied, someone instructed me to do so. Who told you to be so arrogant before? That person was Kim Hyun Seong, who awaited Jung Myung Ho to ascend the stairs of hope. For only when one rises high, does the fall bring forth greater despair. Through the intermediary of the Golden Circle, a command was issued to Park Myung Ji-yu to execute this mission. The goal was to make Jung Myung Ho understand that, even if life were to restart, hope would no longer exist. The intermediary couldn't help but say, you really are a fool. But Kim Hyun Seong merely coldly replied, I like it when you praise me like that. At that moment, Jung Myung Ho realized that the one behind it all was indeed Kim Hyun Seong. He wanted to run away, but escaping would solve nothing. After all, he had become a puppet in Kim Hyun Seong's hands. Perhaps perseverance would lead to the light. That day, Park Myung Ji-yu brought a box of milk that had fermented for 2.5 days. If you finish drinking this and can hold it through one class without going to the restroom, We promise we won't make things difficult for you anymore. Jung Myung-ho, with a glimmer of pure hope, thought he finally had a chance, and without hesitation, drank the spoiled milk. Not long after entering the classroom, his stomach began to signal its distress. Jung Myung-ho kept telling himself, I must endure. If I complete this class, it will all be over. However, before long, he could no longer hold it back, and everything erupted like thunder. The sound echoed throughout the classroom. Amid the mocking laughter of his classmates, Jung Myung-ho awkwardly dashed into the restroom. This time, he completely crumbled, unable to bear it alone. Thus, he confided in the teacher about the situation, but the teacher merely brushed it off. Indifferent, they dismissed it as just a prank among the students. Shortly after, Jung Myung-ho was beaten mercilessly. Then, Park Myung-ji even struck himself. From that moment, both sides had made mistakes. They would testify that he was the aggressor. If you have the guts, go ahead and sue. Jung Myung-ho limped back to the classroom. Suddenly, a classmate challenged him. Did you really bully a friend in Kim High and get expelled? Were you just a fraud before, hiding your true nature? How shameless. Hope flick.